Next is Gravity Canterbury, Howard McConachie, and page 174.
Mayor, fellow councillors, thank you for your time. Excuse me for being a little nervy. This is not typical for me to be giving these sorts of talks. Gravity Canterbury and Freeride Club, Downhill and Freeride Club, caters to a diverse range of Christchurch and out-of-town members, attracted to the club due to our professional approach, riding and training and racing. For the past several years, we've been rated as New Zealand's premier downhill and enduro mountain bike club by riders and independent organisations. Members range from 10 to 57, with a current membership of 380 plus approximately 50 volunteer workers and people helping. The club caters for male and female riders, with a significant amount of our club committee being women, and one female member embarking on the World Cup circuit as we speak. I suppose you could say that our home base is Victoria Park, where we enjoy a very close and long established relationship with your CCC park rangers. As stated in our submission, we're a non-profit organisation registered with the Charities Commission and pump 100% of our income back into the sport and the community. Our annual expenditure can be broken down into the following areas. Training, we pay elite riders to train young and old riders, giving skills that would otherwise be learnt the hard way by clogging up the emergency wards at our hospital, touch wood. Our accident rate has improved dramatically since we've initiated these courses. We also actively follow the Mountain Bike New Zealand guidelines for concussion awareness in conjunction with all our club activities and encourage all riders to be mindful of these dangers. Shuttle Days, the club owns its own fleet of bike trailers to shuttle riders outside race days and hires vans to offer members a managed day's riding without the need to have carloads of private vehicles on Dyers Pass Road, congesting it. Track building, in conjunction with the Victoria Park Ranger Station, we combine work days regularly with the park to maintain, rebuild tracks after a summer race season. Manpower, food are provided by the club, tools, direction supplied by the rangers for up to 30 volunteers at a time. Must be remembered that whilst we endeavour to maintain tracks with the Christchurch Park Rangers, it's not only for our club members, as general riding public have unlimited access to all of these tracks as well. Post-earthquake 2011, we were forced to move away from the city tracks and Living Springs track to Methven, where we collaborated with Bike Methven and to this day continue to support one another. This partnership culminated in us running the 2014 Oceania Mountain Bike Championships, a Tier 2 category UCI international event, with us raising over $60,000 in private sponsorship for two small clubs. This was no mean feat. Sponsorship, Gravity prides itself on being financially stable enough to assist riders nationally and internationally at events, promoting their own personal development and reduces the financial burden on parents to get them there. Our funding lines are limited, however, through various foundations and donations along with our own internal race day proceeds, we manage to do a lot. About Gravity Canterbury and the draft annual plan, I assume I can move this. No. Sorry, doesn't matter, that's okay. More accessible recreation. Gravity would like to see Christchurch City Council invest in building more mountain bike tracks on the Port Hills as a named item in the current draft annual plan. Oh, thanks.
Choose the errors.
Cheers. Yeah, okay. Or green space program to add new trails and trails to cater to all levels. We see the expansion of the mountain bike trail network as supporting Council's approach to making its recreation facilities more accessible. We encourage the construction of more trails for beginner, intermediate and advanced riders. We also encourage new purpose-built one-way trails for climbing and one-way trails for specific downhill riding. This will help to avoid conflict between users and walkers. Mountain biking has the following benefits. It's very accessible from a recreation point of view. It gets people out appreciating the environment. It will contribute to lifting the general health of residents in Christchurch. Christchurch as a destination for mountain biking. An extensive trail network in conjunction with the Christchurch Adventure Park, when rebuilt, will help to make Christchurch a destination for people and is likely to contribute to the economy. Queenstown, Rotorua are national examples of places where people travel to nationally and internationally to mountain bike. Tourism New Zealand estimates 171,000 visitors participated in some form of cycling in 2016. Christchurch needs to target these tourists and the money they will spend. I think the Christchurch Adventure Park is a good example for the short term that it did run as to what's happening. It's been evident from the initial success of the Adventure Park that it's a viable investment, although many who have used the facilities have ridden beyond their capabilities. Having facilities available for all levels outside of the CAP will help to mitigate some of the accidents we've all been exposed to in the media. Through well-defined beginners trails, less pressure on other users to push their own limits, and leisurely riding in an open environment with an excellent emergency access. Your ranger Nick Singleton has stated to me that currently the Victoria Park tracks have been loved to death, and the state of them being hammered in this way is dangerous. It's necessary for the council to open up new portions of the Port Hills to take pressure away from overused areas, and a good example of this is the recent opening of the Montgomery Spur track, which has proven extremely popular. Mountain biking is not a shrinking sport, it's growing rapidly, and we must be able to cater to the needs of tourists and our local people. Resilient facilities and resilient communities. Following the Port Hills fire, we understand that the existing trail network did act as a natural fire break, either by physical separation, e.g. bench tracking, preventing spread of flame, or due to the sides of the trails having less flammable vegetation. This is also an opportunity to plant native species, improve biodiversity and sediment control. An extensive trail network facility also benefits the people of Christchurch by making a more livable city for the estimated 9% of the population that mountain bikes. There is plenty of opportunity to tap into the volunteer spirit, especially following the fires and closure of CAP, for both trail building and vegetation planting. If maintained professionally, the park and city rangers could make funding go a long way with these volunteers and our help. As a club, we will undertake to make our own budget for an annual minimum spend of approximately 5,000 plus grants that we receive. This may be a drop in the ocean for what's required up there, but we're prepared to help, and I know that others would also. Therefore, Gravity Canterbury would like the council to support the development of more mountain bike trails in the Port Hills by contributing a named dollar amount to the line item in the current draft annual plan and the future long-term plan specifically for the construction of new mountain bike trails. Supporting the groups of volunteer trail builders and maintainers by providing materials, tools and native plants. I thank you for your time, valuable time.
Thank you very much, and thank you for yours. Phil.
Thank you. And you mentioned the spirit of volunteerism and the work that's being done on Montgomery Spur.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering how, in terms of the working with the rangers, was that something your club were involved with too? And I'm just sort of wondering what sort of how much time would your members have to actually be able to assist with building of tracks like happening on Montgomery?
Currently, they're so keen without the lack of riding from CAP, they'd build anything, but a lot of that came from the Canterbury Single Track Club also, and the North Canterbury Cross Country Club. So there's a number of other organisations apart from ourselves. We're just here to help promote the good for all, really. Not just downhilling, not just enduro, for everybody. But yes, every weekend we could turn out 30 volunteers.
Any other questions? No? Look, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for making
Cheers.
your time available to us.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next